At dawn on the open plains, our helicopter cut across the sky with a single mission: protect the farmers and save their crops by controlling the destructive wild hog population. This wasn't a thrill-seeking joyride. It was a coordinated operation, our pilot managing altitude and speed, the shooter calculating bullet trajectory, and the ground team keeping watch and confirming targets. Before takeoff, we ran through every safety protocol. And when the engine roared alive, we all understood: human life, civilian property, and a clean execution of the mission came above everything else. Through the open door of the chopper, our spotters caught sight of a large herd moving across the fields. If we didn't act fast, these beasts could overrun the farmland. The pilot immediately dropped to a safe low altitude and held a steady speed so the shooter could match bullet travel with the hog's movement. When the order came, we opened fire in unison. Several hogs went down instantly while the rest scattered, marking the beginning of a high-intensity aerial hunt to reclaim peace for this region. Knowing the herd had split, we switched to a pick-them-off tactic. The helicopter banked in wide circles, tracking single runners and feeding precise coordinates to the shooter. This wasn't reckless trigger pulling. It was coordinated pressure: corner the target, cut off its direction, and end the chase cleanly. No matter how fast a hog ran, its chances of escaping were slim. A radar sweep confirmed the area was clear, and our next destination was a patch of thin forest. The thermal scanner showed a small cluster moving beneath us. We moved in fast. The pilot brought us lower, holding the throttle rock steady. I fired cleanly into the lead hog, sending the herd into disarray. It wouldn't be long before we cleared out this entire group of crop-destroying pests. "Runner! Follow it," my teammate shouted. One hog had peeled off in a different direction. The pilot immediately banked to intercept. Using wind speed and distance data, my partner released a perfect shot that dropped the stray hog instantly. One by one, the targets fell, handled with textbook precision by John, our seasoned marksman. Boom! Another shot echoed right after. Turns out a hog in the south had also been taken down with a flawless hit. The whole sequence unfolded smoothly, exactly as we planned. This farm's harvest would be safe. Not long after, the ground team reported another large herd moving over a hillside. The pilot circled and angled the helicopter to block the glare of the sun, giving the shooter a crystal clear view while keeping enough distance to avoid spooking the hogs into nearby homes. Once we were in the perfect range, we opened fire. Our deputy team leader dropped several hogs cleanly, pushing the mission closer to its goal, restoring peace and safety for the local community. .19 we were then directed to chase down hogs that had broken away from the main herd. The moment we spotted their dark shapes sprinting below, we fired in unison, clean, quick, and controlled. We We used the moment to deploy a single target tactic, eliminate hogs one at a time as they crossed our intercept line. Every move followed strict safety rules, no rounds toward houses, barns, or livestock. The team executed perfectly. No risks, no collateral damage. Left side. 9 o'clock. My teammate called out. I shifted instantly, raised my rifle, locked onto the last hog of the day, and fired. Boom. The shadow of that wild creature collapsed on the damp earth. The mission was over. The farms and crops were safe. As the helicopter returned to base, the ground below grew quiet once more. We notified the landowners, and all flight logs and video footage were submitted to wildlife control authorities. The entire operation followed legal requirements, authorized flight permits, restricted fire zones, and close cooperation with local agencies to ensure civilian safety and ecological responsibility. If this mission gave you a new perspective on wildlife management, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more of our upcoming operations.
Our helicopter lifted off the ground at the break of dawn, cutting through a thin veil of mist that blanketed the southern Italian grasslands. The pale morning light drifted across low shrubs, where wild boars silently roamed, leaving behind winding trails of hoofprints. Inside the cramped cabin, the engine's roar pounded against our chests. Neither John nor I spoke a word. Only the sharp clicks of rounds being chambered broke the silence. Focus was absolute. Our hunt for the day had begun. On the very first scouting run, we spotted a pack of jet black boars lumbering along the forest's edge. Startled by the engine's thunder overhead, they scattered in chaos, leaving a tangled mess of tracks on the grass below. John raised his rifle calmly. Each shot he fired found its mark with absolute precision. My hands gripped the controls, feeling every vibration as the helicopter shuddered with each sharp burst from his weapon. By the time the sun rose higher, we had found another massive herd. They scattered in all directions, weaving unpredictably, making pursuit nearly impossible. I kept the helicopter at just the right altitude, giving John the perfect angle. John squeezed the trigger with composure, his bullets slicing through the air before slamming into the targets. I adjusted in sync with his every move, our teamwork flowing like a silent dance. One by one, the destructive beasts collapsed under his steady aim. Relief washed over us. We knew the farmers' fields were a little safer now. The golden blaze of the afternoon sun stretched across the grasslands, adding yet another challenge to our hunt. From above, we spotted two stragglers wandering near the forest's edge. John wasted no time. He steadied his rifle, eyes locked onto the targets. Each bullet flew true, decisive and unerring. Both boars fell quickly, and for a moment I felt as though the farmer's entire harvest had been spared in that single instant. Had we not intercepted them, the losses would have been devastating, months of labor destroyed overnight. What do you think of our seamless teamwork? Share your thoughts in the comments below. The Italian sun bore down mercilessly in the late afternoon, its blazing rays scorching the golden fields. From the helicopter, the shimmering air made aiming unreliable. Realizing conditions had turned against us, John and I made a swift decision: land the aircraft and continue the hunt on foot across the grasslands. As we followed a narrow trail cutting through the tall grass, a guttural growl suddenly erupted from a nearby thicket. My rifle came up instinctively, sight locked on the flicker of movement through the swaying grass. I squeezed the trigger slowly, one sharp crack, one clean shot. The bullet struck true, and the beast collapsed instantly. As the sun dipped westward, painting the fields in golden hues, we spotted a lone boar resting lazily, completely unaware of our presence. I steadied myself, rifle raised, eyes locked on the beast. With one smooth motion, I pulled the trigger. The shot rang out, precise, decisive. The boar froze, then fell without a sound. Clean, efficient, without disturbing the tranquility of the land. What do you think of the way I handled this? Share your thoughts below. With spirits high, our team decided to push on into night. Our targets remained the same, the massive, dark figures that lurked in the fields, sabotaging the farmers' crops. Then, a sudden rustle in the brush. A boar burst out, lightning fast. My heart nearly stopped. But John's reflexes were razor sharp. Without hesitation, he moved like a seasoned hunter, his bullets cutting through the chaos with pinpoint accuracy. The beast collapsed before it could inflict any more damage. We laughed in triumph, satisfied with the day's success. As we packed up and headed back to the village, we felt like heroes of the harvest. Today's hunt closed with tense encounters, flawless teamwork, and the kind of precision only born from experience and responsibility. Every bullet counted, every decision mattered. The sound of the propellers tearing through the Queensland sky is not the noise of war, but the sound of protection. Down below, the fertile fields are under threat from an uninvited invader, wild boars. They devastate crops at a terrifying pace, and to stop them, we must be faster, stronger, and more decisive. Today, join us in this high-speed battle, an aerial hunt to restore peace to the land. At the break of dawn, we gathered quickly to outline our strategy for the morning. The goal: to use the aerial advantage of the helicopter to apply pressure, split, and isolate our first targets. The hunt is on. Before the first light of day, the helicopter sliced through the biting chill of the early morning, stirring the wild land of the west. The relentless hum of the engine easily drove the wild boars from their hiding spots, forcing them to reveal themselves. But it wasn't until the third shot, after recalculating the wind's direction, that I managed to pin down my first target in the open field. The greeting was tough, signaling the start of a hunting day full of challenges ahead. James' team on the other side was doing an excellent job of applying pressure, driving an entire herd of wild boars into a frantic sprint ahead. But one of them made a fatal mistake by breaking away from the group, turning itself into the perfect target. The helicopter swooped down like a predator, circling lower, and with a single shot that rang out clean, precise, it wrote the final chapter to this flawless performance, a testament to the perfect synchronization, down to the very last second. While Jane's team effortlessly claimed victory, our side found ourselves in a very different battle. These four-legged monsters were not just running on instinct, they seemed to possess a tactical mindset. They turned the terrain into a living shield, using every bush and tree to neutralize the aerial shots. Left with no other option, we made the decision to land, preparing for an all-out ground hunt.
Attention à la gauche, deux boars, tirez à gauche.